This is a fight where Gojo plays with 2 special grades like toys, crushes one simply by walking in its direction, takes out hundreds of transfigured humans in seconds, and then loses. And he loses because of one single moment, a moment where Gojo snaps. Gojo is the strongest sorcerer. It's not even close. Gojo is so strong that Mechamaru built a giant curse-slaying robot, and his victory condition was getting Gojo's attention in the hope that he would come and help out. Gojo's mere existence is so powerful that curses are afraid of doing whatever they want, even those powerful ones. So powerful is Gojo that just getting rid of him could lead to the end of humanity in Japan. With that in mind, some of the most powerful curses put together a plan to seal him for good, which begins by luring him to Shibuya. Luring Gojo to Shibuya is actually pretty easy. He's so confident that even knowing it's a trap, he decides to go anyway and walk right into the trap. He's the strongest, therefore nothing can go wrong. So Gojo arrives at Shibuya and sees 2 special grades. And he starts off this fight by walking right in between them and letting them start the fight while he's surrounded. Beating people is so easy for Gojo. He just had to find creative ways of making his opponents look like chumps. He's dealing with 2 special grade curses. It took the combined power of Yuji's plot armor and Tojo's 1 million point IQ to just fight on par with one of these 2. And Gojo walks right in between them. They tried to ambush this man and he said no. Let me help you surround me. There. Now we can fight. Before we even get to this point, Gojo turns up and calls out the plant curse, calling it a weed, only to throw them off and actually go for the volcano that talks like an old man and rip his arm off. He ripped it like paper. He rips that shit like an old grey tea bag. But then it turns out what he said before was actually a bluff, and he was actually after Volcano Guy. But then it turns out that it wasn't a bluff, it was actually a double bluff. He chased out the Volcano Pensioner so that Tree would let its guard down and release the one thing protecting it from Gojo's savagery. And as soon as he realizes that the plan worked, he hits us with this expression. That is the stuff of nightmares. Gojo jumps on it and rips out its eyes with his bare hands, and if that wasn't enough, he crushes it to death by walking towards it. This is the smile he had while crushing a sentient being to death. Imagine that face being the last thing you ever see. This is what happens when you don't just leave after seeing this face. This is the consequence. Next time you get a salesman at your door and you want them to leave, just hit them with this expression. I guarantee they aren't coming back. There are numerous moments where the special grades survive by the skin of their teeth, and Gojo doesn't just overpower them, his battle IQ is light years ahead of theirs. He tricks Hanami and then blows him to bits. Their only real advantage was it being a 2-on-1, and now they lost that. Gojo doesn't just disrespect you. From sitting on Sukuna's back to walking between 2 special grades, he is an artist of disrespect. But after this, Volcano changes tactics. It's more of a hit and run type deal. Just throwing entire humans at Gojo and then running away. Throughout all of this, Gojo had the upper hand. But then Mahito turns up on the train with transfigured humans to cause more carnage, the roof collapses, and even more humans fall. Even having sorcerers around means that Gojo has to hold back. Now he's surrounded by normal civilians. Is that Heath Ledger? Gojo was willing to accept a certain number of casualties. With these curveballs thrown in, he has to make a quick decision. Does he keep holding back and allow the curses to keep killing people until there's a low enough number that he can actually start fighting? But then if that happens, will even more people turn up out of nowhere? Gojo realizes he just has to say, fuck it, and use domain expansion. But the problem with this is that it would risk killing everyone in the room, so he can't do that. And this whole time the curses are saying, yeah, he's not going to do that. He's not going to use domain expansion. They are convinced he won't do it. And this thought gives them confidence. But then he just does it anyway. On the outside, it looks like he just snapped and just stopped giving a fuck. But this isn't true. He doesn't snap here. This is a calculated risk. He decided that as long as he finished it quickly, he might not kill any people in the process. And then we just see him blitzkrieg all of the transfigured humans. And let's not forget the fact that these aren't curses. He's killing real people. 1,000 people in 299 seconds. In only a few minutes, he killed hundreds of people probably including Heath Ledger. All of this was just preparation for this moment. A seal appears, and they had to keep Gojo there for 1 minute, which should be impossible. But Geto appears. Think about how much that would mess with your mind. Your best friend who died years ago appears right in front of you. Gojo freezes and smiles, but not in a good way. It is a disturbing smile, to say the least, as years worth of flashbacks play in his mind. And that was enough for the seal to work, and that was checkmate. Gojo realizes that a curse used his friend's body to pull off this plan to seal him, and without access to his curse energy, he literally can't do anything. The episode ends with Yuji, the backup main character, being told Gojo has been sealed, and we're left thinking, fuck.